Hi, and welcome to another Wavelength Wednesdays. My name is Waveney. I'm your host, and every week I bring you tips and strategies that are geared towards connecting, inspiring, and influencing you to being the best in your career. And it's July, and this month our theme is reset, realign, and restarting. Yes. And I thought that July is sort of pivotal because first 6 months of the year we've seen what happened. Started off kind of normal, and then COVID snuck up on us, right? And so I feel like we are now in a situation where we kind of can figure out sort of that what's happening. The dust is settling. And so we are learning how to navigate in this new normal. And part of the reset, unfortunately, um, would be for persons that have, lots of persons have had their jobs affected, lots of persons have been laid off, and that is a huge part of resetting. And so, this is what I really want to talk about, a reset, some reset tips for persons that have been laid off. All right, let's get on the same wavelength. The first thing is, I want to say, if you have been laid off, I am so sorry. As someone who has participated in three layoffs, I have been the one as a HR professional to share and be the bearer of bad news. And I can tell you from experience, it's one of the worst things that I hate doing in my job. I really, really dislike it. Because you're telling somebody they don't have a job, and oftentimes you're telling a great employee that you don't have a job. And so it's one of the tasks that I don't like. And so I know it's a very difficult, not just for the persons who are delivering the news, but for the persons on the receiving end. It's not a good thing. It's not a good situation. It's not a good place, and I would not wish it on anyone. So if you have been affected, if your job has been affected, I am so sorry about it, and this is why I've chosen to do this topic. So the first thing I want to tell you is that your feeling is valid, and feelings that and emotions that come up during this time um, are a lot of anger, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of some persons feel betrayed because oftentimes persons are great employees. They've worked whether for years or they're someone that is dependable, and depending on how the company does what they, the process, some really great employees get chosen, unfortunately. And so it is a very real and understandable thing to feel anger. And so feel the way you want to feel. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you shouldn't feel that way, or you're over exaggerating. Don't let anybody tell you that. Feel what you need to feel. Some persons may also suffer with additional mental health issues or conditions, and they may need additional support. And so if you need additional support, there's nothing wrong in asking for help. There are lots of counseling centers around. If you don't, some persons have really great family and friends that offer really solid support. So get the support that you need, but just know that your feelings are valid. All right? And so the second thing I would love to say to you is, then after you've all those emotions come up, after you've vented, after you've gotten your help, then I want to say to you to shift your mindset. Shift your mindset. I want to read you a quote that I saw just this morning, and it's a quote. I was listening to something from Tony Robbins, and in part of what he was saying, he said this. He said, "Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel." And so I want you to shift your mind in a way that moves you forward. That moves you forward. What is done is done. What is in the past is in the past. And so, although it's okay to vent, although it's okay to get those feelings out, what is not okay is just staying stuck. We don't do stuck over here at the People's Brand. If you didn't know and if you're new here, we don't do stuck. We move forward. We look at situations and extract the opportunities and the lessons that we need to learn, and we use them as a springboard to moving forward. So here's some questions that I want you to consider to shift your mind. First thing is, what is possible? What is possible because of these situations? For many persons, they didn't like the job and they were just holding on by a thread, right? For many persons, you were burnt out. For many persons, this was a toxic environment and you wanted a way out, but you were just too afraid to quit, right? And there are so many other hosts of reasons, right, why that people have in jobs that keep them there, right? Or you just maybe really love your job, okay? Maybe none of those things apply to you, but either way, what is possible because of this situation happening? I guarantee you, if you ask yourself that question the first couple of times, there's nothing is gonna come up, right? You might even say, oh, I don't know what she's talking about. But if you ask yourself that question, the answer will come. What is possible? Okay? The next thing is, how can you use this experience to your advantage? What skills have you learned? How can you use it to your advantage? There's always an opportunity in every situation. My situation will be very different. I can tell you what my opportunity was in this pandemic, but it may look slightly different to yours. So how can you use this experience to your advantage? Really ask yourself this question. And then thirdly, self-reflection. There is no change. Self-reflection. There is no change, there is no forward movement without self-reflection. So how could you have been a better employee? What could you have done differently? And this is not to say that you're a bad employee. This is not to say that you're, it's anything bad. But in every situation, you can always extract what you could have done better. So there are things, and like I said, my experience will be totally different to yours. Some persons, some of you are very disorganized. Some of you have time management issues, right? So what are you going to do about it? Here's a perfect opportunity to get online, look for a course, and build yourself up, because this situation is not going to stay this way forever. And so you can't wait until the situation has changed to then start to get better. We have to start getting better now. We have to start to prepare now. So ask yourself these questions, right? Ask yourself these questions, and I will guarantee you your mind will start changing into a forward thinking, moving direction. And then thirdly, how can you generate an income? Now, I could sit on here and tell you update your resume and look for jobs, but we both know that that isn't practical right now. Yes, there are companies that are hiring, yes, but it's not at the rate as it was, because this is not a normal circumstance. So how can you generate an income? So I have a few ideas that I think are really great that can get you started. Tutors. So tutoring. So school has been disrupted. This is different now. School has been disrupted. Parents are not teachers. Parents are not trained teachers, and there are some children who need the additional support. And some of you have, whether you're great at math, whether you're great in science, whether you're great in, maybe you speak a different language, you can always offer tutoring. Google Classroom, they have that. You can do it through there, you can do it through Zoom, or you can do it face to face while practicing social distancing and all those hygiene measures, right? So tutoring. This other one is an untapped market that I feel is overlooked. So home care for persons with disabilities and the elderly. There are a lot of persons that have to go out to work. There are a lot of persons that live alone that need that support. And maybe you are a caring, empathetic person. Maybe you've had to take care of somebody that was close to you in your life. Maybe you always wanted to be a nurse. Here's your opportunity. And maybe you can do that. You probably don't have to do it in your own house, but you can go to the homes and, you know, the individual homes and get that done, right? So that's another one. Another thing is babysitting. A few weeks ago, I was chatting to a new mother, and she started crying because she had to go back out to work. The company wanted her back into the office, and she did not have that additional support of her partner. He wasn't there, on island. And so she had this new baby, and she started crying, and she started apologizing. I said, don't apologize. And I myself, my eyes got so filled with tears because I really wanted to help her, but I mean, I wish I could help her. There are people out there like that. So it doesn't mean that you have to open a full nursery or daycare, although if you can, do that. But there are people who just need an individual body to take care of their kids, okay? The other thing too is a personal Uber, but please put processes in place so that you can be safe. So lots of person lives off the bus route. The bus can't get to where, through alleys, through, wherever. You can offer personal Uber and do that. And then lastly, skills. So lots of people are into food and beverage. Lots of people are braiding here, they're doing here. What I want to say, because before you say, well, everybody's doing food or everybody's doing here, what I want to say to you is, everybody might be doing it, but not everybody is niching down. Everybody wants to do everything. What I would suggest to you is niche down. So what do I mean by that? So if you're into food, first, let me give you this example. I have a cousin, and his business, Yanni's One Pot. And he focuses on one dish. He doesn't try to do 5 dishes. He doesn't try to do 10 dishes. He doesn't have 20 things on his menu. He focuses on one, and he sells it, and he is successful with that. All right? So niche down. Look at where you can niche down. You don't need to be selling 10 things. You don't need to be selling 20. Maybe you sell 2. Maybe you sell 1 and a particular item, but you have to really think about it. If you're braiding here, everybody does, the adults here, they do everybody's here. But I have yet to see someone, at least in my environment, just focuses on a child's head, like children. That's all they do. I think that's a market there, and that's an example of niching down. And you could either buy bows and beads and pretty things, and then factor that into the cost. And so those are just some ideas, but generate an income. Yes, update your resume if you want to go back and look for a job, because some persons, they love the taste of entrepreneurship. And so they don't want to work for anybody else. They want to work for themselves. And so do that. And so I've come to the end of my Wavelength Wednesdays. I really hope that you found value in this. I know that, there are a lot of people that are affected. If you know anyone, share the video. It will inspire them. hit like, hit subscribe, so you get the alerts when I have new videos which drop every Wednesday. And if you want to be coached by me, send me an email at hellowaveney@thepeople'sbrand.com, or send me a WhatsApp 663-3356, and I will talk to you next week. It is my absolute pleasure. Bye.